Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Casio W93H. This is a really inexpensive watch from the Illuminator series that you can get for like 13, 14, 15 bucks. Very nice, handy, kind of tough, rugged little watch. This is a little tiny, small, lightweight watch. Really cool for the money, and this thing has actually survived quite a bit of time on my wrist. And I actually took this winter backpacking. If you guys follow the Facebook and all that, I took this sucker winter backpacking. I did quite a bit of chopping and cutting wood and things like that, ice fishing with this, and it's none worse for the wear. This thing survived the shock of cutting wood for quite a few hours, guys. So overall, really cool little light. We're going to talk about the features here. Now, what you have is a fully digital display that has your date, or I'm sorry, your time, seconds, day of the week, and date. It's very simple. Nothing crazy there. You have a light function on the bottom, which you probably can see. It lights up the letters. Very easy to read. Part of what I like about this, very easy. I'm not a fan of a lot of the G-Shocks, guys, aside from the fact that I've broken them, like 10, 15 years ago when I had one. I have broken them. They're not, indestructible like everyone likes to say. But a lot of them are very crowded displays and they're very difficult to read. I don't like that in a watch. My idea of a watch is to be able to look at it and know what time it is without doing math or really having to look hard at it. So for me, a display like this is very good. Now what this has is it's an acrylic crystal on there, and I've already scratched it. But the cool thing is, because it is acrylic, it's very easy to get the scratches out. I literally just took a polishing cloth and toothpaste and was able to get the scratches out for the purpose of this video because I wanted it to be nice and shiny for you guys. All right, so of course, you have a couple different features on here. You have, what is this, countdown timer? You have basically a couple alarms and a countdown and a count up timer. Nothing too crazy. Very simple, very, relatively easy. This watch is fairly easy to set and pretty accurate. I actually set this thing to atomic time, and I've been checking it weekly, and it's only lost 2 or 3 seconds. This is a watch that's only going to lose about maybe a minute or two a year, tops. Downfall is it's a very light and thin bracelet with a plastic clasp, so that is something that will probably be the first thing to break, is the plastic on the clasp. But very thin bracelet, and the good thing is you could probably put this on a nylon strap. When the strap does break, it won't be too hard to replace. It's very thin on the wrist, small, very lightweight, and pretty tough little guy, I gotta say. You got the stainless back, which is nice, and overall fits very well on my wrist. And of course, I didn't think about it. I'm kind of standing, guys. This room has a big, huge window, and it puts in a ton of light, even with the curtain. It just yeah, so I kind of have to stay in the way of the light, otherwise it just ruins the shot here. So I hope you guys understand the angles here. All right, let me put this on my wrist so you can kind of see it on my wrist. All right, so there it is on the old pause. You can see it is a relatively small watch. It does look a little small on my wrist. Looks kind of almost like a little bit of a woman's watch, to be honest. So, yeah. But it's also very thin, very lightweight, hardly noticeable. Fits well. You can see I am on the outer edge of this one. I've got relatively large wrists. I actually got to measure them someday. But as you can see, there's only maybe 2 or 3 more on here. And this is actually, whoa! And this is actually relatively, relatively loose there. So that is something to pay attention to. I don't have issues with hitting the buttons as I move around. That's nice. And the light button does take, a little bit of effort to push, so you're not hitting that all the time. But yeah, this is not a bad little, kind of tough little watch for the money. At $15, this thing's pretty handy. It works very well. It's pretty accurate, and it stays out of the way. Now, one of the things I always kind of say, guys, what's the stupid point of a G-Shock to make a tough watch like that that's going to literally catch on everything you touch with it? Here, let's move over here a little bit, guys. Get out of the light. And I literally just made it worse. Alright, so what's the point of making a really good high quality watch but making it so big and bulky that it catches on everything. I never understood that about the G-Shocks. I will never get it. You know, I really wish, and I know they make a model, what is it, like 5900 or something like that, that is smaller. But I wish they made more watches like this that are small, thin. You know, I know the trend now is for bigger watches, but in the end, you break. And, you know, as a guy who's probably broken hundreds of dollars in watches over the years, you know, in the end, the watches that break the least are the ones that are smaller. The ones that break are the ones that catch on things, you know, and the G-Shocks are ginormous and they're huge. I mean, it's like you catch the wind right, it turns into a parachute. They're just gigantic. Not that I'm not saying they're bad quality, but just, you know, it's just so counterintuitive that you want a tough watch, but then you're going to make it so big that it's going to smash on everything and catch on everything. No, I've had better luck with smaller watches like this, to be honest. You know, things like this that are relatively small. Even though this is a thin and a band that I could break in 5 minutes doing any real work. But, you know, in the end I haven't because it's not catching on things because it's sleek and small and out of the way, and you know, it doesn't have big gigantic buttons to catch on things. And like I said, the only thing is this is very prone to scratching. But you know, if they're not deep scratches, you can get them out with a polishing cloth and toothpaste. So I banged this thing on walls and all that. You can see there's really no protection. And to get a screen protector for this is almost impossible because it's not completely round. You would have to custom cut something. But this has got pretty good features for an inexpensive watch. It's not horrible quality. I mean, this is not a G-Shock as far as how tough and how much this can withstand by no way, shape, or form. But at the same time, you know, a very good around-the-house watch. You know, if you don't need that shock resistance and all that, this is a relatively water-resistant watch that, you know, is small, lightweight, easy to wear all day. I mean, I've worn this around the office, I wear it around the house, I've worn it in bed, I've worn it in the shower. You know, it's really just not very obtrusive anywhere. It just kind of, it's wallpaper, guys. It really is. And that's one of the cool things about it is it's so light you don't have it, you don't know you have it on, which is awesome. That's really an important thing for a watch, is to be comfortable. And this really is a comfortable watch compared to a lot of the stuff out there. And I know it's because of fashion trends and all that. People want these big, gaudy, huge watches, but they're just not for me. So in the end, you know, this is a very good option for an EDC watch for me. And I think it will be for you guys too at that price point.